our next programme, over to the newsroom for a report from Andrew Harvey.
The crew of the Virgin Atlantic Challenger, which capsized and sank tonight only 2 hours away from a triumphant record, are safe and well in hospital in the Isles of Scilly. The boat appears to have hit wreckage 138 miles short of land. The crew of 9 were all picked up by the Geest Bay banana boat. The Virgin Atlantic Challenger overturned in waves over 6 feet high, and RAF Nimrods were quickly on the scene. The crew were picked up by the Geest Bay, which answered their mayday call. The 9 men from Challenger were then winched aboard a helicopter to be taken to hospital. The RAF Nimrod pilot, first on the scene, gave this description.
The boat had been doing about 45 knots, started pitching and shipping water. So they stopped. They had about 6 minutes, by which time she'd shipped an awful lot of water, in which they were able to climb into their immersion suits, gather their personal belongings and take to the life rafts.
The man who was to act as Challenger's relief pilot later speculated on the possible cause of the accident.
Well, at a guess, probably a split in the hull. We've been waiting for a so-called window in the weather for some weeks in the United States, and should we say there was half a window, and the conditions that they've come through were fairly extreme, really right the way across. And I suppose that the pressures and stresses that the boat was subjected to were more than was originally anticipated.
From Challenger's crew, though, there was simply exhilaration at being alive. Well, BBC reporter Peter McCann was on board the boat when it capsized. He described what happened.
We were about 100 miles from the Bishop Rock Lighthouse, the end of the Hull Run, when it's believed that something hit the bottom of the boat. The boat had been going through fairly rough water at the time, and there is a tremendous amount of slamming which goes on there, so to detect something hitting the hull is obviously very difficult, but that is what is believed to have happened. What then happened, to our knowledge, is that the boat suddenly started acting in a very strange way. It was not getting on the plane and keeping up its speed. It was veering up into the sky and just not coming back down again. What was obviously happening was that the water was running towards the stern and holding the stern down and the bows up. So in the end, one of the engines started cutting, evidently because the water was too great for it and it was getting drowned by the water. And with one engine cut out, then of course the boat cannot get on the plane at all, so we came to a grinding halt. It was then that the engineer looked down below and discovered all the water coming in. There was quite a gash along the hull.
And there'll be more details about the rescue on Newsnight, which has just begun on BBC2. From me, good night.
Now on BBC1, the French Foreign Legion opens its doors to a television team for the first time and allows us a unique view of the Legion's idiosyncratic traditions and people.